first one. So if we're multiplying radicals, you can either simplify, then multiply, or multiply, then simplify. And so what I mean by that is I can take the coefficients right here and multiply them. So what's 2 times 3? 6. And what's 15 times 5?
45.
75. Yeah, you end up getting 75. Then once you do that, we simplify. So what goes into 75? You can do 5 and 15. And 15 gets circled. What goes into 15? 3 and 5. So who's already at prom? 6. 6 is already taking pictures outside. Who else is joining 6? 5, right? They have to be the same number. And only one per couple. Who's chilling in the crib crying? 3. What is 6 times 5?
30.
30. Radical. So your answer is A. So this is literally, I pulled this from your first test. So these are your first test questions. So just kind of bring it back to memory. Next one. And stop me if you need to pause or you have a question. Next one, I only can add if they have the same radical, right? So first I need to simplify. Can I simplify radical 5? No. Can I simplify 20?
Yeah.
Into what? 5 and 4. And then what does 4 go into? Or what goes into 4? 2 and 2. Cool. So remember, each one is a separate thing. So plus 4 radical 12 is separate now from 3 radical 5, because now we're adding. So I'm going to bring 3 radical 5 down here. Now let's simplify this one. Who's already at prom? 2's going to prom. 4. And then this 4 is already there. And who's chilling in their crib? 5. And so what is 4 times 2? 8, and we keep the radical. Cool. So now we simplify this radical right here into this. And we already have this radical right here. So now we add. I only can add, right, if they have the same radical. They have the same radical?
Yeah.
So let's add the outsides. What's 3 plus 8?
11.
11. Do I add the radicals?
No, you just stay the same.
And so your answer is D. I guarantee that 11 radical 10 will be an answer choice. They're going to try to trick you. Does that make sense? Cool. What does sum mean? Adding, right? So we know we're adding. And an irrational number is a number that can't be turned into a fraction. So that's a number, either a non-perfect square. So maybe I'll put some words up here. A non-perfect square. So anything that's in a square root that doesn't have a whole number out. Like what's the square root of 25? That's a perfect square. So only if it's non-perfect square, if it's like pi, or if it's a non-terminating decimal. So it's a number that goes on forever and ever and ever and doesn't repeat. So if you were to type radical 2 in your calculator, it would go on forever and ever and ever. So first of all, 5 plus radical 16. What is radical 16?
4.
4. What's 5 plus 4? Can I put that into a fraction?
No. Well, yeah.
Okay, not 9 over 1, right? So that can't be it. What's radical 4?
2.
2 plus
5.
What's 2 plus 5? 7. Can I put that into a fraction?
Yes.
Yeah, 7 over 1. That can't be it. 3 plus 5?
It's 8.
Can I put that into a fraction?
Yes, it's B.
So it's B, and it's wrong on your quizzes. I forgot to change the answer by accident. So if you put that into your calculator, first of all, I can't even simplify that because it's already simplified, and I can't add on like radicals. So automatically, no, it's irrational. That was right from your test. Does this make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay. Which product is rational? What does product mean?
It's multiplication.
So what's 5 times pi? It's just 5 pi. And pi is going to go on forever and ever and ever. So is that rational? No. What's square root of 5 times square root of 5? 25. Square root of 25. What is the square root of 25? 5. That's your answer. This 5 can be put as a fraction, 5 over 1. It's asking me which one's rational. If I go over here, what's 4 times 2? Because now I can multiply. Is that a perfect square? No. 9 is, but not 8. And so radical 5 times pi is just pi radical 5. numbers to irrational, making a big irrational number.
Is pi on the calculator?
So pi is if you click second, and then it is the little caret button. Second, and the caret button is pi on your calculator. Does that make sense? The caret, the little arrow.
Above the division and below the line.
Yep, so if you click second and the arrow, that's pi. All right, conversions. How many of us forgot about conversions?
Me.
All right, so the first thing we do is we got to start with what we know. So we know that we're starting with where they're going 45 miles per what? 1 hour. So 45 miles per 1 hour. So that's my setup. I want to get it in feet per minute. So I need to have my little conversion box. So how do I get 1 mile is how many feet? 5,280 feet. And then how do I get hours to minutes? What's 1 hour? So that's my little conversion box. Doesn't matter which one I start with. I'm going to just start with miles and feet. So remember, mile is on the top here. Where does it go now?
At the bottom.
The bottom of the denominator, right? So 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So now I could cross out mile, but I still have feet per hour. I need feet per minute. So now I need to figure out, okay, if hours on the bottom here, where does it go now?
At the top.
Good. So 1 hour is 60 minutes.
Wait, why?
Because in order for us to eliminate our miles, because we want our answer in feet, they have to be opposite. And so since hours at the denominator here, it has to be at the numerator up here. And so that way I can cross them out. And so I should get feet per, remember per means division, minute. Is that what I get? Cool. Now all you do is you multiply all the numerators. So 45 times 5,280 times 1. What do you end up getting?
2,200.
Whoa, I didn't know.
And then what's 1 times 1 times 60? And then you divide those two numbers.
So you have to multiply the whole time.
And do you guys see that an answer choice is the numerator? They're trying to trick you. They're going to say, oh, they're going to forget to divide it by 60. When you divide it by 60, you end up getting 3,960.
I got for the top row. Are there going to be a lot of conversion questions?
No, maybe 1 or 2. No, most of it's going to be functions, so linear, exponential, quadratic.
How
Yeah.
does 1 hour cross out?
Because hours at the bottom here. So I was like, okay, I need to put this conversion in somewhere because I need it in minutes. So even though they're not next to each other, as long as they're the opposite, I'll be able to cross it out. So remember, some of your practice tests even look like this, where they gave the answer choices looking like this. So you had to figure out which one did they put incorrectly. Does that make sense?
What if they gave us a conversion like this?
If they did what?
Give us a conversion question. How would we like? If they told us to explain how we solved it, please.
You would explain you started with what you were given. So you were given that the person goes 45 miles per hour. Then when you set up your conversion ratios, you knew that 1 mile equaled 5,280 feet. You also knew 1 hour equaled 60 minutes. So when you set up your fractions, you made sure that the units were on opposite ends. So one is in the numerator and one's in the denominator. So you're able to cross them out. And then once you get your answer, you would multiply the top, the numerators, the denominators, and then divide them. So you just explain how you would go about it. I don't think this will be my guess, and then what it's been is going to be some sort of function question, like quadratic, exponential, linear. That's going to be a lot of it. All right, this is another conversion question. And so this one's actually from your thing too. And so how I set it up, it says, first of all, how much is she swimming? How much does she have to swim? And what are we trying to figure out here?
If
Each lap, we're trying to find out how many seconds if each lap is 50 meters long. So that's what we're starting with, 50 meters over 1. That's my unit ratio.
over 1 what?
Just 1. That's our unit setup. It's only if it's per something. Then I go over here and I go, okay, what conversions are they giving me? They're giving me that they go 200 meters in 2 minutes and 42 seconds. So if meters is at the top here, where does it need to go now? Bottom. Now, I can't write 2 minutes and 42 seconds. What are the answers in? Seconds, right? So how do I get 2 minutes and 42 seconds all into seconds? How'd you get that?
I did 2 minutes. Well, 1 minute is 60 seconds.
Mhm.
The next time 2 is 140
Mhm.
plus the 42 seconds.
Plus the 42, and you got 162. Beautiful. 162 seconds. Cool. Now what could I cross out? Meters and meters, and I should be left with seconds. Is that what I want?
Yeah.
Yep. So now you just multiply across. What's 50 times 162? Then divide that by 2.
So divided by 40. 40.
To 40.5.
Yeah.
And what's the numerator? Do you remember?
8,100.
So when you get there, you get 40.5. So it says which is most likely. That's why they capitalize that. Which one would most likely be the time?
B equals 40 seconds. Do this with here.
There's only going to be maybe 1 or 2 of these.
All the packets. Yeah. That's the only.
I have the first 3. So I'm going to put on the 6. I'll give you the first 2 now, and then the second 3. All right, what equation represents the following? The difference. What does difference mean?
Subtraction.
So which ones can I cross out automatically after they're subtracted? Of half the number. How do I write that?
1/2.
1/2 of, and that means multiply, of a number. I guess you can use that. So the difference of that and 2 is, what does is mean? Equals. Exactly. And so if they came up like that, don't waste your time. Like how I finished off the problem, I'm just showing you how you go through the whole thing. I don't know what part they're going to ask you, but if you can figure it out at the very beginning, do it and just flag it if you think you need to check it. All right, next one. I want to find the solution. We already found this is. How do I get x by itself?
Add to the other
Add
So you
to.
would plug it in there?
You could plug it in. You say, okay, what number could I take half of it, subtract 2 and get 8?
Why did it keep like multiply?
We will. You're ahead of me. Now what do we do? Multiplied by the reciprocal.
Wait, what?
So to get rid of a fraction, I multiply by its reciprocal. So when a fraction's being multiplied, to get rid of it, you multiply by its reciprocal.
So why did also
And so what is 2 times 10? 20. And so what Evan was saying was like, can I just put this in and say, okay, if I take half of 20, what's half of 20? 10 minus 2. 8. You can do it that way.
Why couldn't, I know that's how you do it, but like, why couldn't you do 0.5?
You could, but I never know when you're going to get a or when you're going to get a calculator and when you're not going to get a calculator. So this could be
You know 0.5 divided by x.
yeah, but you would have to do 10 divided by 0.5, and a lot of people don't realize that's multiplying by 2. Unless you have a calculator. Yeah. Does that make sense? Great. Inequalities, the sum. What does sum mean?
addition?
Addition, right? Which one doesn't have addition?
D.
D and C of twice the number. So 2x and 6 is at least 10.
That's greater than or equal to.
Good. So if that's like if I said, Madison, you need at least a 80 in order to get you need at least an 80 in order to get cookies. Could she get a 60? Could she get a 90? Could she get an 80 exactly? Yeah. So she needs a greater. So when I think of this, I always go, okay, at least. I think of a situation where I would use at least. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right, so they're saying, here's my 2 polynomials, and what do they want us to do with them?
Put them together or subtract them.
Subtract them, right? So it's saying if A is this,
You get 11.
well, So not like up, down all the way. There we go. All right, which of the following could be the solution? The sum, okay, so now we're finding the solution. So we could do what Evan did, which is plug in each of these numbers for x and figure out which one works. Or you can sit here and solve it. So how do I get x by itself? You get 2x is greater than or equal to 4. And then how do you get x by itself? Divide by 2, and you get x is greater than or equal to 2. So which one could be x?
A.
Just a, right? Because if I put any of the other ones in, they're not greater than or equal to 2.
But I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
We're making our scores like our model for school.
Very, very, very last thing, end of the year.
Like the last in school.
Probably the last week of school. That's why you need it.
yeah.
That's why you're coming to these sessions. You're overcompensating right now. You get extra credit for coming. You're gonna do that.
Great.
The people who are coming here and who are putting that 100% effort in, those are the people who end up doing well anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. What if
All right, you're gonna be fine. All right, fifth degree. What does fifth degree mean?
Leading
It's the highest exponent. Which one doesn't have a highest exponent of 5?
C and D. I mean B.
B, right? Because that highest exponent is 7. With leading coefficient, what does leading coefficient mean? The first number. So which one has a leading coefficient of 7?
D.
And then constant, you don't see like at Sydney was like, well, can you just tell? Yeah, don't go on to do all this work, but I just want to make sure to show you. So constant is that number at the end. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is this coming back to you guys a little bit? Okay. All right, now I'm going to take this. So they're asking us to put these two polynomials like this. And then what are they asking us to do in between them? Subtract. So remember, what's the invisible number that goes right here? 1, and we distribute that. And so we bring down the first one, 3x squared. Because technically, unless you're going to remember, okay, when we subtract, we need to change all the signs of the second parentheses. If you're going to remember that, then you don't need to go through all that. But this is to remind you do need to change the signs. So like, what would this first one change to? Positive 2x squared. And this one would change to positive 6x. And that one would change to negative 7. If it's a plus sign, Christian, then you don't need to do that because you can just drop the parentheses. Does that make sense? Then it doesn't make sense. So when we're adding two things, right? This is technically when we're subtracting, we're multiplying by negative 1. If it were adding and I'm distributing positive 1, 1 times anything is that same number. So you could sit here and put a 1 there and distribute a positive 1, but it would just be that same number. You'd just be wasting time. So if you want to do that to keep it safe, you can. Now let's just combine like terms. So what's 3x squared plus 2x squared? 5x squared. We don't add the exponents, only when we multiply, right? So which one doesn't have 5x squared? A and B. Then we have 5x and 6x. We get 11x. So right away we know C's got to be the answer, but I'm just going to finish it off anyways. And negative 6 and 7, what do you end up getting?
Negative 13. Huh? Oh,
Nah,
negative 13, right?
negative 13. I'm looking up there. Sorry. Negative 6 and negative 7 is negative 13. So this is your answer.
Good.
Sorry.
Well, I got C and I didn't put the -1.
So if you remember to switch, so did you do, okay, 3 minus negative 2, like in your head? That's fine, however you get the answer. This is just a way that you can do it, and I know you like to be organized so that it can, like, you don't make those silly mistakes. All right, next one. What does perimeter mean?
The outside.
Adding the outsides, right? So a lot of people just add these and get 8x plus 10, but that would only be half of the perimeter, right? So if this side's 3x plus 8, what's this side?
3x.
Uh-huh. And if that side's 5x plus 2, what's this side? And so then you just combine like terms. What's 5x plus 5x plus 3x plus another 3x? 16x.
Oh, wait.
And remember, we don't add the exponents. That's only when you multiply. Do you add the exponents? Then we add the constants. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 8 is 18, plus 2 is 20. So the perimeter.
So no, powers.
No, no powers. That's if they were to ask for area, that's when you would, because you would be multiplying
For area, you would just multiply the two sides.
these two. Yep, and you would do like box method. And that, but that we didn't even learn that until unit 4. All right, I need to buy at least 20. I need at least $20 to buy that shirt.
A and B.
C.
It's. I don't think
It's
B.
Think about it. If you need at least $20
You
to buy
need
a
less
shirt,
than $20 or exactly 20.
No, I know. You need
more than $20. More than 20. Right? Because if you need if you need at least $20, if you have 18, they're gonna turn you down. They're gonna say 5. See ya.
So maybe what's it? Bring the thing up.
If you look, look, if you bring a lot of.
Well, I put D. I thought that was.
But remember, it's only when X is first. If you're gonna do that trick. You only want X is first.
What if it said I need?
So say now, let's ask a question. When you said this before you move, okay? So you know how Jacob said when move this is an L, right? So you said when X is. So if it was like this. What is it?
That's
Greater than it?
the 20 is
It
greater.
has to be greater than
Which
20.
technically X is less than.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna do this trick, X has to be first.
Okay. But I get it. It's just that I'm a.
Remember, the alligator mouth is the bigger one. All right. You can have at most 4 friends over. D.
15 is C. Oh, I put C.
I don't get.
See, if you can have at most 4 friends over, could you invite the entire Charter Senior Academy? No.
Doesn't that mean
4 or less?
Doesn't that mean less than 4? C.
No, X is greater than 4. It's a mouse eating X, so X is greater.
And 4 is less eating.
Yes. No, 4. Yeah, 4. The number 4 is less than how many friends?
You can only have 4.
You get at 4 or less. So this would be like anything 4 or above. So X stands for anything above 4. This set means anything 4 or less.
And 4 is C.
Always read it as X is less than 3. That's where you're getting confused. Read it as X first, because you're reading it as 4 is greater than X, but that's confusing you. Always start with X. So X is greater than or equal to 4. X is greater than 4. X is less than or equal to 4. Don't start with the number, because that's going to confuse you. You have a minimum of 10 sentences. Minimum of 10 sentences. D. A lot of people got confused by that. Remember,
I put C.
what? Minimum. Because don't just think minimum means small. Remember, minimum, if Ms. Klein said you have a minimum of 10 sentences and you do 5, are you going to get credit for it?
No.
No, you need greater than or equal to 10. What's the answer? D.
Are they gonna be lined up on the test?
No. It would be, these are going to be within Unit 2B, that system of equations. You can have no more than, so this is prepping you for Unit 2B. Most likely it's not going to be this simple. You can have no more than 3 cookies.
C.
C, because I can have less than or equal to 3 cookies.
It's not D.
No, because that would mean I have to have less than it. And if I can have no more than 3 cookies, it means I still can have 3 cookies. I just can't have any more than
So if it was I can have less than 4 friends over, it'd be X is less than.
Yeah. Yeah. So if it's like you have to have less than 4 friends over. People don't usually say that, so you're not going to see it a lot. But if you have to have less than 4 friends over, it would be X is less than 4. All right, this one. I think we only have 2 left, right? So this first, we could take each of these and say you're like having a little brain fart. If you're having a little brain fart, what could you do with your answer choices? Plug them in and figure out which one works. Or let's do it the old-fashioned way. What is 4 times R? 4. What's 4 times 15? Plus 4R equals 300. Then what do we do?
Add for AR.
8R.
So you got 8R plus 60 equals 300.
Subtract 60 and 300.
8R equals 210.
Okay, you go.
8R, I mean, equals
To get this part right here.
1.25.
Yeah, to get this part right here. or just combined like this. And then so I rewrote it. And then I subtracted 60 on both sides.
Divide 8 by R.
And then I divided 8. And what do you end up getting? What's 24 divided by 8? 3, and then 0. Or Madison, remember, you could always plug 30 in for both the R's, and it would get you the
Is
same.
there going to be a lot of constructing the problem? Because that's
Doing what?
like reconstructing.
Oh, literal equation.
Okay.
I think a good amount.
Because that's not that hard.
A little bit.
Okay,
Like in a word problem.
Yeah, if you see a word problem and you see like answer choices and there's only one letter, just so you can plug them in and figure out which one works. Alright, I think this is the last, or do I have 2 more? Okay, so 3x plus 2, I don't need to do anything, so I'm going to rewrite it. Then I need to distribute 5. So what's 5 times x? 5 and 5 times negative 4?
Oh, Joe.
What do I draw when I see an equal sign or inequality? River. So how do I get 3x on this side? You get 2 less than or equal to 2x minus 20. Then what do you do? Add 20 to 2, right? And what do you end up getting? Then we divide by 2, and we get x is greater than or equal to 11.
So it's 2.
Wait, this is negative 11. Where you got it?
When does the sign switch? When you're dividing by negative coefficient, but you're not here. And that's why I'm saying, Christian, like when you were saying, but 11 is lesser, just always start with x. So what is x here?
X is greater than
X is greater than or equal to 11, right? So which other one here says x is greater than or equal to 11? 4. So it may be switched. That's why that little less than trick, be careful with that. Because whatever the mouth is eating,
It's for like that. I just put the
yeah.
No,
Does that make sense?
I'm not.
All right, one more. I know this is a lot of focus. Then I'll let you chill.
Don't try me.
All right, last one. So this is a literal equation. So I have s equals 180 times n minus 2. And they want me to get what letter by itself? N, right? And so first, you can sit there and distribute 180. But like already, it's the only thing that's going on here. And it's going to just add an extra step. So see how there's nothing after this here? How do I get rid of this 180 if I would multiply it out? What's the opposite of that? I could just divide 180 out if it's the only thing going on. If you distributed, you would get the same answer. You would just have to reduce instead. So you get s over 180 equals n minus 2. How do you get n by itself? Add 2. So you end up getting s over 180 plus 2. Does that make sense?